Is a hardware wallet necessary? If you're serious about crypto at some point in the value chain, you should get a hardware wallet. They're not expensive and they massively improve the overall security. And they're not the only component, but adopting that alone enormously reduces your risk of theft. So highly, highly recommend it. Charles, why are we told that people like George Washington need to be recognized for the good things he did and ignore the bad? I don't think I say that or any reasonable person says that. He was a nuanced person. And you talk about the nuances. But the problem is when we have this movement of statue burners, what they do is they say, because he did something bad, we need to remove everything named after him, change all the names of the states, never mention him again, and view him as some sort of compromised evil person. Washington was a great man. And he was a great man because there were moments in history where he could have made a decision to benefit himself, and he passed on that. And as a consequence, he allowed a great nation to exist. Now, yes, he did some bad things. He was inadvertently responsible for part of the French and Indian War. Mount Vernon wasn't exactly a paradise. There were certain things in his life which were not so good. But when you actually look at the totality of all of it, he had a choice to become the king of this country or its first president. And because he made the choice to become its first president, it allowed us to exist in the way we are today, for better or for worse. If he became a king, we would have just had one monarchy after another monarchy, and a lot of great evils would have been done, and the American experiment would have never happened the way it happened. And I would argue we'd be a much worse nation than we are today. So, yeah, by all means, read Ron Chernow's book on Washington. There's dozens of great books that cover all the nuances and talk about all the things and speculate. Did he have an affair with Sally Fairfax or not? And what was his real relationship with his brother Lawrence? And how did Lawrence dying of tuberculosis alter and change him? And the death of his children and his inability to have his own children, et cetera, et cetera. His shame of not learning French and these things. And they're very worthwhile to study. The same for Ulysses S. Grant, and the same for many of the other icons of Americana. Lincoln wasn't a saint either. Mother died of milk sick in 1818.